Hey everyone, and welcome back to MiCast. I'm Brad,
And I'm Julia.
and we are so glad you're back with us for episode number 3.
Episode number 3 already.
I know, it's crazy, right?
It feels like just yesterday we were,
Yeah, just figuring out how to work all this stuff.
Exactly.
But, time flies when you're having fun, and especially when you're diving deep into the world of AI.
Especially AI.
And speaking of AI today, we're taking a look at a company that's been kind of shaking things up a little bit.
They really have.
DeepSeek.
DeepSeek, yeah. They're a Chinese AI company that's making some waves with its technology.
And their technology is incredibly efficient.
Yeah.
Which is what's so interesting about it.
Yeah, and what's really fascinating is they're achieving this efficiency without using the most advanced chips. Which, because of trade regulations, those are restricted from export to China.
Yeah, that's a huge point. I mean, they're basically proving that you don't need to, spend a ton of money on the hardware to develop this cutting-edge AI.
Right, and you really don't, because their most advanced model was actually developed for a fraction of the cost of what U.S. companies are spending.
Yeah, we're just getting millions versus potentially trillions of dollars.
Trillions, yeah. It's a huge difference, and it's definitely sent ripples through the entire industry.
I mean, even former President Trump called it a wake-up call for the U.S. tech sector.
He did.
So this is, something that people are definitely paying attention to.
Absolutely. It's a potential game changer, this cost efficiency, especially for smaller companies or startups that don't have access to massive budgets.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they're kind of rewriting the rules of the game a little bit.
Right.
And what I find so interesting is that their technology, it isn't just some, theoretical concept that's hidden away in a lab.
No, it's not.
It's available right now.
Yeah, they have a free app.
A free app.
That's topping the charts on the Apple App Store.
I mean, come on. They're beating ChatGPT in downloads.
They are.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a pretty clear sign that people are excited about what they have to offer. Yeah.
And it's not just limited to English speakers either. I mean, this app works in over 70 languages, including Chinese, French, Spanish, Portuguese.
So, okay, how are they doing this? What's the secret sauce here?
Well, they've really focused on optimizing their software. Specifically, they've made a lot of improvements to the low-level code to just kind of squeeze every bit of performance they can out of their hardware.
Really?
And they've done this through 3 key innovations.
Okay, well, you got to break these down for us because I'm dying to know how they're achieving these results.
I will. I will. It was amazing.
So the first innovation is called auxiliary loss-free load balancing.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is a bit of a mouthful, but just imagine this. You have a huge team working on a project, right? But only a small percentage of them are actually needed for any given task.
Okay, I can see.
So DeepSeek, they apply this concept to their AI model. They only train the essential 5% of it for each specific task.
Oh, wow.
And that drastically reduces the computing power needed, and that leads to significant cost savings.
So they're basically streamlining the whole training process by focusing on just the parts of the model that are necessary for a specific task.
Exactly.
That's brilliant.
It is pretty clever.
Okay, so what's the second innovation?
Okay, so the second one is called low-rank key-value KV joint compression.
Okay.
And this is all about shrinking the memory usage without sacrificing performance.
Got it.
So they're essentially compressing the key value pairs, which are crucial for the model's attention mechanism. You can think of it as the model's ability to focus on the most important parts of the information that it's processing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
So by compressing this data, they're saving space without losing any of the model's accuracy or speed.
It's like they found a way to make the model think smarter, not harder.
Right.
That's incredible. Okay, so what about the third one?
Okay, so the third innovation involves using reinforcement learning in a really clever way.
Okay.
So instead of just training the model on this vast, unfocused data set, they're focusing on tasks that have clear, measurable outcomes.
Okay.
So for example, coding problems are a great way to train the model because there's a right answer. The code either works or it doesn't.
Makes sense.
So this targeted approach makes the learning process much more efficient.
It's fascinating how they're approaching AI development from a totally different angle than what we've seen before.
Yeah, it is.
And they're not keeping all these innovations to themselves, are they?
No, not at all, actually. DeepSeek has embraced an open source approach.
Oh, wow.
So they're leveraging the global open source community to further refine and improve their models.
Wait, so they're actually collaborating with developers from all around the world?
They are.
That's brilliant.
It's a really smart strategy. They're tapping into this vast pool of talent and expertise,
Yeah.
which of course speeds up their development process and again helps keep those R&D costs down.
It's almost like they're crowdsourcing the future of AI.
Yeah, kind of is.
But with all this rapid growth and global reach, there's got to be some concerns, right? Especially when it comes to data privacy.
Oh, absolutely. That's a crucial point to consider. All of the user data is stored on servers that are located in China.
And that's where the concerns really start to kind of pop up, right?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we've seen similar concerns raised about other Chinese tech companies like TikTok and how they handle user data.
Yeah, and it's a valid concern.
Absolutely.
So we've got this incredibly efficient, game-changing technology, but with this kind of, looming question of data privacy.
That's a trade-off.
Yeah, and we've covered a lot of ground already. I mean, DeepSeek's innovative approach, there's surprisingly low development costs, their app that's making waves, but there's still more to discuss. Like, how is this impacting the stock market?
Yeah, we definitely need to talk about that.
It's a big deal.
It's fascinating how this is affecting the financial side of things.
Well, and you know what? We don't do breaks here on MiCast.
We dive straight in.
We dive straight in, but we do want to hear from all of you out there. So this is just the beginning of our deep dive into DeepSeek, and we're excited to continue this conversation with all of you. What are your initial thoughts on DeepSeek's approach? Are you as blown away by their cost efficiency as we are? Let us know in the comments below. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to MiCast for more deep dives into the world of tech and beyond. We're aiming to upload daily, so check back soon.
Yeah, it really is fascinating to think about how this is all kind of rippling through the industry, especially where it comes to like the financial side of things.
Right, like their approach, I mean, it's definitely turning heads on Wall Street.
Oh, absolutely.
And forcing investors to kind of reassess what they thought they knew about AI development.
It's like all the assumptions are being challenged.
Yeah.
DeepSeek's cost efficiency has been a real eye-opener, and now suddenly those sky-high valuations of some of these AI companies, they're being questioned.
Yeah, investors are realizing that maybe, just maybe, throwing massive amounts of money at a problem isn't the only way to be successful.
Right, like maybe there's a different path.
Yeah.
It's almost like they've exposed a vulnerability in the market.
Yeah, and the impact has been, it's been dramatic. Take NVIDIA, for example.
Oh, yeah, NVIDIA.
So, and NVIDIA's, they're like the leading producer of these high-powered chips.
Right, the ones that have been essential for training these large AI models.
Exactly. But DeepSeek has kind of shown that, you don't necessarily need the absolute, cutting-edge hardware.
Right, you can still achieve impressive results.
To achieve some pretty amazing results. And that sent shockwave through the market.
It did.
NVIDIA stock, it plummeted 17% in a single day.
Oh, wow.
The biggest loss they've ever experienced.
It's huge.
It's great. It's like a classic case of disruption.
It really is.
The established players are being challenged by someone who's playing by a different set of rules.
And it's not just NVIDIA that's feeling the heat. Other tech giants like Meta and Microsoft, they're also taking notice.
Yeah, they're definitely paying attention.
DeepSeek's success is forcing them to kind of reevaluate their own strategies.
Right, and think, do we need to adapt?
Exactly. Are we doing this the right way?
Like DeepSeek has thrown this wrench into the works, and now everyone's kind of scrambling to figure out, okay, how do we adjust?
Yeah, how do we respond to this?
Yeah, I imagine there were some pretty heated boardroom meetings happening right now.
Oh, I'm sure.
At all these big companies.
It's raising some fundamental questions, about the future of AI development.
Like, what are we willing to pay for this?
Right. Is the current pricing model sustainable?
These are questions that companies and investors are going to have to grapple with.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure it out.
And then there's the question of, will DeepSeek's approach, this open source, efficiency-focused approach, will that become the new norm in the industry?
And that's the million-dollar question, isn't it?
Yeah, if their model proves to be truly successful, it could trigger a major shift.
Absolutely.
In how AI is developed.
Yep.
We could see more companies embracing, open source collaboration and prioritizing efficiency over just, brute force computing power.
Right, because that's kind of been the approach so far.
Yeah, just throw more money at it, get bigger computers.
Exactly.
But it's like, maybe there's a smarter way to do it.
Maybe there is.
And it'd be fascinating to see that happen.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where AI technology is more accessible and affordable.
Right.
For everyone, not just these tech giants.
It could democratize AI.
It really could, and lead to, I think, a whole new wave of innovation.
Absolutely.
But of course, it's not all sunshine and roses.
Right. There are some potential downsides.
We've already talked about, the data privacy concerns.
Yeah, and that could potentially limit DeepSeek's growth, especially, outside of China.
Right. If users aren't comfortable trusting them with their data, that could put a damper on their plans to, expand globally.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out a way to build that trust.
Yeah, they're going to have to address those concerns head on
Absolutely.
and really prioritize transparency if they want to, build that trust with users all around the world.
Transparency is going to be key.
It really is. And it's not just about, complying with regulations.
Right.
It's about building trust.
Right.
It's about being ethical.
Exactly.
And then beyond the data privacy concerns, there's another layer to this that I think we need to consider, and that's the potential for bias.
Oh, absolutely. Bias in their AI model.
Yeah, any AI model can be susceptible to bias.
Right. Either through the data it's trained on or the way it's designed.
And with DeepSeek, there's this added layer of concern because of the potential influence of the Chinese government.
Right. So there's this question of, could the model be subtly steered towards promoting certain viewpoints or censoring certain types of information?
I mean, that could have huge implications.
Absolutely, especially when it comes to things like news dissemination or political discourse.
Yeah.
It's a really complex issue, and it's definitely something that users need to be aware of.
Yeah, you got to be critical.
You have to critically evaluate the information that you're getting from any AI system,
Right.
including DeepSeek, and think about the potential biases that might be at play.
It's a reminder that, AI, it's a powerful tool, but it's not a magic solution.
Right. It's not perfect.
We still need to, engage our critical thinking skills.
And be discerning about the information we consume.
Exactly.
And as AI gets more and more sophisticated, I think these conversations about data privacy, bias, ethical development,
They're only going to become more important.
absolutely. We need to make sure that these technologies are being used responsibly for the benefit of humanity.
Well, it's definitely been a thought-provoking, deep dive into the world of DeepSeek.
It really has.
They've presented a really innovative approach to AI development, one that's already shaking things up. But, there are legitimate concerns about data privacy and potential bias that need to be addressed.
Right. We have to acknowledge both sides of this.
Okay, so we've talked about the exciting potential of DeepSeek's technology and how it's shaking up the AI industry.
Yeah.
But I think it's time to take a closer look at some of the concerns that have been raised.
Yeah, especially when it comes to data privacy.
Exactly. I mean, it's a conversation that's becoming increasingly important, as AI becomes more integrated into our lives.
Oh, absolutely.
And DeepSeek's privacy policy, it outlines that they collect a pretty wide range of user data.
Yeah, I mean, they collect things like your date of birth, your keystrokes, the text and audio you input, any files you upload, even your chat history.
Oh, that's a lot of information.
It is, and all of that data is stored on servers located in China.
And that's where the concerns really start to emerge, right?
Exactly. I mean, we've seen similar concerns raised about other Chinese tech companies like TikTok and how they handle user data.
Yeah, there's this lack of transparency about how DeepSeek might use this data, and then there are worries about potential access by the Chinese government.
Right, and it's a sensitive issue, especially given, the current geopolitical climate and the differences in data privacy regulations between countries.
It's understandable that people, especially those outside of China, might be hesitant to share so much personal information with a company that's operating under a different set of rules.
Yeah, I can see that.
So has DeepSeek taken any steps to address these concerns?
Well, so far, they haven't really publicly addressed these concerns in detail.
And that lack of communication is definitely adding to the uncertainty and apprehension among some users.
Yeah, right.
They've mainly focused on, promoting their technology's capabilities and efficiency, but they haven't been as forthcoming about their data handling practices.
It seems like transparency is going to be key for them moving forward.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Especially if they want to gain a foothold in markets outside of China.
Right. Users need to feel confident that their data is being handled responsibly and ethically.
Exactly. And it's not just about complying with regulations, it's about building trust with users.
Yeah, you have to have that trust.
If DeepSeek wants to become a truly global force in AI, they're going to have to prioritize transparency and demonstrate a commitment to data privacy.
Okay, so beyond the data privacy concerns, there's another layer of complexity I think that we need to consider, and that's the potential for bias in their AI model.
Oh, that's a good point. Any AI model can be susceptible to bias, either through the data it's trained on or the way it's designed. And with DeepSeek, there's this added layer of concern because of the potential influence of the Chinese government.
Right, so there's this worry that the model could be subtly steered towards promoting certain viewpoints or censoring certain types of information.
I mean, that could have significant implications, especially when it comes to things like news dissemination or political discourse.
Absolutely. It's a complex issue, and it's something that users need to be aware of.
Yeah, it's crucial to critically evaluate the information you receive from any AI system, including DeepSeek, and to consider the potential biases that might be at play.
It's a good reminder that AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a magic solution.
Right, we still need to engage our critical thinking skills and be discerning consumers of information.
Exactly. And as AI becomes more sophisticated, it's going to become even more important to have these conversations about data privacy bias and ethical development.
We need to make sure that these technologies are being used responsibly and for the benefit of humanity.
Absolutely.
Well, it's certainly been a thought-provoking deep dive into the world of DeepSeek.
It really has.
They've presented an incredibly innovative approach to AI development, one that's already shaking up the industry. But there are also some legitimate concerns about data privacy and potential bias that need to be addressed.
We have to acknowledge both the potential and the risks.
What do you think about all of this? Are you excited about the potential of DeepSeek's technology? Or are the concerns about data privacy and bias outweighing the potential benefits of them? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear your thoughts.
And as always, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to MiCast for more deep dives into the world of tech and beyond. We're trying to upload daily, so there's always something new to discover. Thanks for joining us today, and we'll see you in the next episode.